Hello, happy Tuesday. This is Darren Roberts, Master Trainer at Impact Training Corporation and the Abundance Accelerant. Welcome to the Tuesday Tickle and Tick show number 24. Today there's a warning, political correctness curveball. This topic today may not be particularly politically correct, but it's an important one to discuss because it comes up regularly in my training and actually came up just last week when I was doing a workshop for a couple of my clients. And it's called the Tuesday Tickle and Tick for a reason. So if there's something that ticks you off that isn't quite politically correct, well, maybe it actually will also open up our eyes to help with our first impressions. First impressions for us individually and our staff, but also for our business as well. Now, political correctness says, don't judge me. And particularly don't judge me for the way I look. However, first impressions are going to show you why that's the only thing that we have to judge an environment and an individual and a business by. Did you know it takes 2 to 5 seconds for us as humans to make a first impression? 2 to 5 seconds. And that impression is lasting. Can it be enhanced or detracted from over time? Absolutely. But that 2 to 5 seconds is where we all make first impressions, and those first impressions are lasting. Now we've got 5 senses, don't we? 5 senses that helps our brain determine, are we in a safe environment? Are we comfortable to move forward? Are we confident to be in this environment? Let's walk through that. So we have the sense of sight, we have the sense of hearing, we have the sense of taste, we have the sense of smell, and we have the sense of touch. Now, the business that I was working with their team last week were talking about their first impression to their customers or potential customers. Now, they had quite a long corridor where the potential customer will walk down as they enter the building before they speak to someone. And it's well more than 2 to 5 seconds since that potential customer would enter the building before they had interact with someone for the first time. So if we look at those senses, in that first 2 to 5 seconds, the potential customer probably can't hear the person they're about to meet. They certainly hopefully can't smell the person. They haven't tasted the person. They haven't touched the person. So although it's not politically correct, the fact is, for first impressions, in the first 2 to 5 seconds, in most instances, all a potential customer has to make their judgment, their first impression, is the way that we and the business looks. Now, I'm not talking about how good looking or not good looking we are. I'm talking about how we being portrayed. What is that judgment? Because it will be, they'll judge, we all judge. What is the judgment, consciously or subconsciously, that potential customer is creating? What is the feeling that customer is creating as they first walk into our business and interact with us or someone for the first time? So the way that we look is significantly important in that first impression. So our posture, our professionalism, do we give eye contact? Do we give a smile in that first 2 to 5 seconds? Are we on brand? Are we wearing our name badge? Some of the other non-politically correct things are, do we have facial hair? Are we wearing earrings? Do we have tattoos? How colourful is our hair? Now, of course, we can all do whatever we want. But for first impressions, we also need to understand our avatar or our most likely clientele. And what do they like? Do they like 6 earrings? Do they like facial hair? Do they like tattoos? Do they like colourful hair? And what influence are those first impressions having? It's not about us as individuals, it's about how we're being portrayed and what are those first impressions that we're creating with our potential customers. So I want you to have a think about your first 2 to 5 seconds as a customer walks through your door. What are they seeing? How can you enhance those first impressions? Maybe you're an online business and that first impression could be your website. So what feelings is that creating? Is it the feelings that you want? Is it the judgment that you want about your business? Now the other part is your environment for your current customers or members as well as potential new ones. Now, if you're in a business which is a bricks and mortar business where your customers are in your business on a regular basis, then we all get sign blind, don't we? And we don't see things as staff members or owners that our customers often see. I'll give you an example. Our house that we live in, we used to rent. So we were renting it for about 3 years. And at the time, Kirsty, my wife, and I, we were looking for somewhere to buy. So on the weekends, we'd be out open inspections. I'm sure you can understand and have been through it yourself. Open inspections, and was looking at somewhere to buy, but we couldn't necessarily find exactly what we're after. Now, what we found that the landlord, which happened to be Kirsty's dad many moons ago, was actually selling. And he said, listen, once you move out, we're going to sell the place anyway, so you're welcome to look at purchasing this house. Now, we'd been tenants in that house for about 3 years. And we decided, all right, it's in a nice area. We're happy with the area. Let's have a look at buying it. And what Kirsty and I did, we actually walked all the way out on our front lawn to the curb. And we walked from the curb right through our house, right to the back fence, and looked at what we considered our house, because we'd lived in it for 3 years. We looked at it as if it was an open inspection. And it was amazing, the things that came to us, the things that we saw that we couldn't see when we weren't looking at it from that perspective. And what happened was we bought it and we still live in it, and my 11 and 14-year-old kids are growing up in that house right now. And it's something that I do with a lot of my clients, my bricks and mortar clients, where from a customer experience, from a first impression, we say, let's go out with a notepad and walk from the absolute entrance, even from the street, from the car park to your business, and walk through every area of that business. And let's take some notes about what can we do to enhance the customer experience and first impressions. Often the simple things is that sign that you had on the window and there's still a bit of blue tack there. Is it the dust in the cornices of your business that we forgot to look at? And the businesses that do this really well is that once a month they have a different person in the business going through and seeing what can we change instantly. It's not about the $100,000 air conditioner necessarily. It's about what can we do right now? What needs to be cleaned up? What needs a little bit of painting put on it? And actively going out of our way to look at the experiences we're creating, because we're a bit sign blind. We just walk in and we don't see the business as if a customer or a potential customer would see it. So there's my 2 challenges for you. Determine in your business, what are your customers and potential customers experiencing in the first 2 to 5 seconds of their experiences with you and your business? And secondly, longer term, make sure you walk in and investigate your bricks and mortar business as if it was your first time there, and looking for those simple things that you can affect. That way you enhance your first experience, you enhance the feelings that your customers are having within your facilities and your business. They'll get greater value out of your services. They'll stay for longer and they'll talk about you more. As you know, it's about the way that we're making that person feel. All decisions are about feelings, the green brain. So this goes a long way to enhancing that. So I'd love for you to put the comments below. What have you found? What do you do to make a great first impression in the first 2 to 5 seconds or beyond? And what can you do to improve it? You guys have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you next week for the Tuesday Tickle and Tick. Bye for now.